Can Joel Embiid win his second MVP award, second consecutive MVP award? Will Tyrese Maxey be the NBA's most improved player? We'll talk about that more and next on Locked On 76ers.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Well, thank y'all for tuning in today. And, I've been thinking all weekend about what we're about to talk about in regards to, Joel Embiid. First of all, I want to say my name is Keith Pompey. And I normally have my co-host Divine Givens with me, but he's been off recently. But here's the thing. When we think of Joel Embiid, I feel like, you look at Joel last year. Joel led the league in scoring for the second consecutive season. He averaged 33.1 points. The year before that, he averaged 30.6 points. Joel has had two phenomenal back-to-back seasons, right? But I feel like a lot of people, I know that there's been a lot of people who basically been killing him, trashing him, and said that all he cares about is the regular season. I mean, I talked about this before where there were certain reporters who voted for Joel to become MVP. And as soon as Nikola Jokic led the Denver Nuggets, Jokic is Joel's rival, center, great player for the Denver Nuggets. He led his team to the NBA title. As soon as that happened, there were a lot of people going to Twitter, social media, basically explaining why they voted for Joel. And so now, going into the season, you have to say that Joel Embiid is a long shot to win MVP, to win a second consecutive one. And it just seems like there are going to be certain people who are going to remember what Nikola Jokic did in the postseason. They're going to remember that Joel didn't show up in Game 7, second round loss to the Boston Celtics. And with that being said, they're going to say, look, he doesn't deserve it. No matter what he does, he's not going to deserve it. Me, I'm the type of guy that I let each season speak for itself. And what I mean by each season, I'm talking about each regular season speak for itself. I think that Joel's going to put up numbers. I do. And I think that Joel is going to make it hard for people, at least for me, right? I mean, and what I mean by that is I'm not going to say like other people, like, look at what he did in the past. And I said that. And I'm not saying, the Joker deserves it. Now, there were some people think that the Joker should have won 3 in a row, right? Last year, they think the reason why Joel won is because people didn't want to put the Joker in that category of the all-time greats, Larry Bird, Bill Russell, guys like that who won 3 in a row. They didn't want to do it. So Joel got it. Look, I'm saying this, let the best man win. And also I'm saying this, don't discount Joel Embiid because, I'm seeing pictures of Joel working out in LA, right? I've never seen Joel as chiseled as he looks in these photos. And, one thing we learned is that you can't go by off-season workouts, right? Conditioning. Like you see guys in the gym, just draining threes, doing everything that they have to do. They look great, right? You say to yourself, these videos are edited, heavily edited, but what? So you don't really want to go by that. I didn't see Joel take a single shot. All I saw him was standing next to Jason Tatum. And I'm telling you, I've never seen Joel this chiseled before. Never. Now, when Joel was at Kansas, he was a lighter guy. He weighed less. He looked in great shape. Now he looks like that guy, but beefed up. When Joel played, he was a big dude, but there wasn't a lot of definition. There's definition now. I mean, he's just so. When you have a guy like Nick Nurse, who's a great coach, a guy who can get you in great situations, I think that Joel's going to come out and he's going to play well. I do. Now, again, I know the James Harden situation. Harden isn't here. Harden did a great job where I shouldn't say he isn't here. We don't know if Harden's going to be here or not, right? We don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know who's going to be the point guard. Talking about this, meaning, Harden is not happy with the Sixers and he wants to get traded, right? But I'm telling you, Embiid, the way he looks, and we all know that he can play, but the way he looks, if he's in shape the way he is, that's going to help with the wear and tear on his body. That's going to do a lot of things. And regardless of who the point guard is or whatever, having Nick Nurse as your coach, getting you ready, I think we're going to see Joel put up crazy numbers this year. I do. And I also think that the one thing that the thing that we're discounting, Joel, just the way you hear people killing him, the way the memes came out, all this, Joel's listening to that too. He's listening to that. And I think he's going to use it as motivation. I know. He's the type of person that's going to use that as motivation. Joel reads and listens to everything. Players often say, like, they don't care. They all care. So he's going to use all this stuff as motivation. Now, again, will he win MVP? That's to be determined, right? Will he? Will right now do a lot of the voters that I believe a lot of the voters are trending before the season even starts, trending to Nikola Jokic? Yes, I do. But that's not to say that Joel can't win the award. And that's not to say that Joel can't have a better season. Last year, think about it. He didn't do anything during the offseason, anything. And he came out and averaged 33 points. I'm telling you, this dude, in my opinion, is going to be a beast this year, a big-time beast. I want to talk to y'all about Ibotta, right? Ibotta gives you cash back on 100 of grocery items from produce to personal care to pantry goods. So you can make sure you've been beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Either link your loyalty account or upload your receipt after you shop and get your cash back. It's that easy. The average Ibotta user can earn $120 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire grocery trip. Or you can use your cash back to buy that flight you've been eyeing, that game you've been dying to go to, or the fancy dinner you've been craving. Right now, Ibotta is offering listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta and using the code Locked On when you go to register. I'm telling y'all, do it today, people. Definitely do it today, because you can earn cash back on hundreds of online brands and retailers too when you start with Ibotta, including Lowe's, Macy's, Best Buy, and more. So I'm telling y'all, do it today. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app and use the code LOCKED. That's Ibotta in the Google Play or App Store and use the code app. Do it today, people. Definitely do it today. Now, the one thing I want to talk to y'all about is, in addition to Joel Embiid, and I feel weird saying this stuff because I think some people may be thinking like, you're close to the Sixers, you see the Sixers a lot, so of course you're going to say, yeah, Joel Embiid could be the MVP. No, that's not it. I'm basing it off of what I saw in this video. And then you're saying to yourself, Tyrese Maxey can become the most improved player. Of course you're saying that, Pompey, right? Of course, because you cover Tyrese. Well, I'm saying that because I feel like that as good as Tyrese Maxey is, I feel like that Tyrese Maxey doesn't get the just due that nationally that he gets in Philadelphia. And I'm not comparing them to this, but Tyrese Maxey to me, so don't make you think that I'm saying they're the same two players because they did have different attributes. But but what I'm saying is they're similar. They have similarities. In Philadelphia, Tyrese Maxey is kind of like a modern day version of Andrew Toney. And what I mean by that is, in Philly, everybody in my era growing up, everyone loved Andrew Toney. Andrew Toney was the man, right? Boston Strangler. He did a lot of great things, right? The thing is, though, nationally, everybody talked about Moses Malone. Of course they did. Julius Erving, Dr. J. Of course they did. Bobby Jones. Mo Cheeks, and then it became Charles Barkley, right? But whereas we all know that a lot of their success, especially when it came down to taking advantage of mismatches, was Andrew Toney. So when I say that, I think that people are going to nationally more so are going to take notice of Tyrese Maxey this year. Tyrese Maxey is a guy in his 3 seasons whose numbers and shooting have improved. Think about it. As a rookie, he played in 61 games with 8 starts. He averaged 8 points. He shot, now get this, he shot 30% from 3. 30%, right? As a second-year player, Tyrese Maxey's, now you realize he benefited a lot because of Ben Simmons, with Ben Simmons like holding out and refusing to play. Tyrese Maxey averaged 17.5 points, right? In 75 games played with 74 starts. He shot 42.7% from 3. Now, last season, primarily a 2-guard, right? Tyrese Maxey averaged 20.3 points. He shot 43.4% from 3 in 60 games with 41 starts. Now, we all know some of those starts had to do with coming back from injury, and then also with the Sixers wanting them to come off the bench because they felt as if that DeAnthony Melton was a better defender, which he is, and that Maxey would be better suited coming off the bench because, let's face it, the Maxey James Harden pairing defensively, was tough. Was tough to watch, right? But the thing about it is, when you think of the number of NBA games or national televised games that the Sixers are going to have, that all that's going to do this season is basically elevate Maxey's exposure, right? Think about it. Maxey had games. He had, how many games did he have over 30 points? He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He had 7 games where he scored 31 points or more. Think about the best game was what? Early in the season against the Toronto Raptors, where he had 44 points, right? On 15 for 20 shooting. He shot 9 for 12 on threes. Then he had 37 points at Phoenix, right? And he made 7 of 11 threes, and he shot 14 from 19 from the field. So I'm just here to tell you, like, I think that Maxey has a great chance, and I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked. And if I had to fill out something to say who's going to be the most improved player, I would say Tyrese Maxey, right? I would, because I feel like he's going to do the same stuff. I also think that he's going to get better, just like Joel working out in LA. Tyrese Maxey is working with Drew Hanna. So, but I'm here to say that I honestly believe that Tyrese Maxey is going to get more. He's going to get better, a little bit better. I believe he's going to play better. But I think that he's going to get recognized more because he's going to get more exposure. And with that said, I think that he's going to be at least have a great chance to be the most improved player. I do. I really do. I think he will. I think he's going to have some big games. Now, again, that's not to say that, he is all-star or this and that. I think that has to do with a lot of votes, and then you get certain guys who are grandfathered in for the most part, right? Let's keep it real. But I do think that, Maxey is going to get every opportunity to show exactly what he can do. I really do. Thanks for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. Every day, tomorrow's show will be a little bit more on Tobias Harris and Paul Reed. So tune in tomorrow, right? Just tune in tomorrow, and I got you with more discussions on those guys. But like what we talked about before, like Joel, don't discount him. I mean, I don't, and this season, we don't know how this season's going to pan out, so that could have something to do with it. If the Sixers struggle, then probably not. But with all this stuff that's going on, with the James Harden situation, you think about it. A lot of people gave Joel a lot of credit for playing well 2 seasons ago with all the Ben Simmons distractions and everything like that. So, I think Joel's going to be a beast. I do. I really do. I think he's going to be a beast. I don't like the discussion. I mean, I don't like the debates because I feel like it becomes personal and guys are attacking one player and just to promote the other one, talking about when it comes down to the Joker and it comes down to MV. But let's face it now, y'all. They got 2 nationally TV games this season to show us what's going to happen, right? 2 of them, 2 nationally televised games so we can decide, for ourselves. So those are going to be exciting. The first one is going to be on TNT on January the 16th at 7:30 p.m. And then the second one is going to be the following week, on January the 27th at 3:30 p.m. in Denver. Now, that's going to be a crazy game just because I think Joel's last time Joel played in Denver was 2019. The people in Denver are going to let him hear. They're going to let him hear. But I think that these are going to be 2 games that could go a long way. They shouldn't go a long way because I think MVP should be about the whole season, what you do, not just head-to-head matchups, right? But people tend to make them about head-to-head. So, it is what it is. But look, y'all, again, I want to thank y'all for listening to this podcast. I want y'all to have a blessed day. You can get this podcast wherever you get your podcasts at. It's free and available. You can also go to the YouTube channel. When you go to the YouTube channel, click on the on the Liberty Bell, and you become a new subscriber. On top of that, you get notifications when I come out with new podcasts. Right? This is Keith Pompey. Thanks for listening, and have a blessed day. Peace.